Hello, I'm Carol Hunter, politics editor at the Des Moines Register. With me is Kathie Obradovich, political columnist of the Register. We're here today with our countdown to Ames, counting down to the straw poll on Saturday. On Tuesday, it was announced who would be in the debate on Thursday night, and it was notable for a couple of people who won't be there. Thaddeus McCotter, the Michigan congressman, who is going to participate fully in the straw poll, he paid his $15,000 to be there with a tent, will not be part of the debate. And also Fred Karger, the openly gay executive from California, is not going to be part of the debate. There's some controversy over that. Kathie, what's your take?
Well, both the candidates are contesting along the same lines, that they felt like they qualified on the basis of online interactive polls that they had. Fox set a criteria that you had to be at least 1% in 5 national polls. They had to be recent polls. But the criteria really didn't spell out what kind of polls they had to be. And Fox News is not accepting essentially what you call an online or interactive poll, where the pollster emails out to people based on their sample. And then you go online and respond. So it's not the same thing as like an online survey where anybody they want to can go on and click as many times as they want to. It's a little bit more controlled than that. But Fox News said, we're not accepting those kinds of surveys. So those candidates are pretty much out of luck for this debate. Fred Karger has raised the possibility that he would file an FEC complaint, because essentially if he were to win that, this debate becomes an in-kind contribution by Fox to all the candidates that were allowed. So that is something that Fox wants to avoid, and I'm sure that they legally looked over all of its options before it made its decision. Thaddeus McCotter is in a slightly different position as well, because the Iowa Republican Party, the state central committee, voted to allow him into the debate. They approved their own set of criteria for the debate and said anybody who's in the straw poll on the ballot ought to be in the debate. Well, Fox News did not accept that as part of their criteria as well, and for good reason. I mean, otherwise it would look like you could just buy your way into the debate, and they certainly didn't want that. But it left the Republican Party in an awkward position, because they said, well, you can buy your way into the straw poll, essentially, because they didn't set any criteria for what candidates would be in the straw poll. So it is a little bit of an awkward situation.
The other thing that's sort of looming over this debate is someone else who won't be there, and that is Rick Perry.
Yes, and I think it's going to be hard to avoid for the candidates to avoid him in the debate. I think that they will be asked about him. They'll have to decide, are you going to try to trash the guy before he's even, or do you just give some sort of stiff answer like, we welcome everyone to the debate or, to the race, and be sort of patently insincere about it. And so that will be something that, everybody's looking at this field in the light of the fact that Rick Perry is yet to come in.
Right. The other development yesterday was the launch of what's called the Values Voters bus tour. Started in Des Moines, had Tim Pawlenty, and they're going to have other candidates join them. Tour of 22 cities. Everyone acknowledges that this year is all about the economy, but here's a group trying to say, wait, there are other issues too.
Yeah, it's interesting, because when we started off this caucus campaign, everyone was saying it was all about social issues, right? And now the debate has really mostly turned to the economy and of course the debt and federal spending. And now we've got the Values Voters group coming back and saying, if you say you're a fiscal conservative, then you are forgetting about all these social issues that are important to families. And so they're really trying to bring that back around again. And I don't know how successful they'll be. I mean, the lineup of candidates certainly wasn't like the whole cast of characters. There were just a few that were going to be part of that bus tour.
And today is also very interesting in that we're seeing a relatively rare appearance of Mitt Romney, only his second visit in the state this year. He's going to visit a manufacturing site in Pella and then have a fundraiser. What's his strategy from here on out?
Well, That remains to be seen, but I think it is possible that Romney will come back into Iowa and do more of a regular campaign appearance this fall. I think there's some question about whether he really wants to totally avoid Iowa altogether, or if it was really just the straw poll that he was trying to avoid. I think that as you look at the field, if the sort of the religious right and the religious conservative bloc of the party is still kind of splintered, I think it leaves room for a candidate like Romney to do well. And we know from earlier this summer that in the Iowa poll, he still had a lot of residual support in Iowa. Bob Vanderplaats out at the Values Voter Bus Tour was saying the same thing the other day, that he thinks that Romney still has quite a bit of residual support in Iowa. So, I think that the path is open for him to come in if he decides to do that.
Well, today will be a very busy day, candidates crisscrossing the state. For all the news about the caucus pre-run and lead up to the straw poll, go to DesMoinesRegister.com/caucuses, and we'll be back at about 9 a.m. tomorrow to again discuss developments of the day. Thank you for watching.